Definition of a wing shooter's delight. Ptarmigan transitioning from summer to winter plumage against a backdrop of mottled green tundra. The bird's rust-colored backs blend in well, giving eager pointing dogs a chance to show off their talents. But when the covey explodes, the bird's pure white wings present bright targets at which to take aim. That state of wing-shooting delight is where I found myself mid-August, an hour's flight north of Dillingham, Alaska. We hadn't hit the ground more than 10 minutes when German wirehair Max locked on point. 15 brown feathered periscopes popped out of the brush 30 yards ahead. As I tried to close the distance between gun and bird, the covey flushed in a startling flutter of snow-white wings. Balanced somehow between two springy hummocks, I fired just once and 2 birds dropped. My husband Terry applauded the act. A half-hour later, though, when I did it again, snarls of flock shooter told me I was just having a very lucky morning. But the luck to me wasn't in the double-double. It was in the good fortune to discover Alaskan ptarmigan hunting in the most astounding landscape I'd ever encountered. Visibility beyond miles, tints of autumn gold in the grass, a distant volcano rising 2,000 feet from the flat tundra floor, even the scratchy call of a sandhill crane. Flying in each morning, we would spot something new. One flight offered us grazing caribou and a moose swimming leisurely across a tree-lined pond. Another flight revealed beluga whales herding salmon into an inlet. A 6-pack of buff-colored wolves appeared relaxing on a gravel bar one morning, and in nearly every lake and pothole, a pair of tundra swans. On the ground, however, our sights were on the ptarmigan, which proved to be as unpredictable as the ruffed grouse to which we're most accustomed. Similar in size to a ruffed ptarmigan, pronounced ptarmigan, are unlike other grouse because of hair-like feathers on their toes, an adaptation to the Arctic climate. The willow ptarmigan, Alaska's state bird, averages 15 to 17 inches long, with an average adult weight of 1 1/4 to 1 1/2 pounds. As with the rock ptarmigan and the white-tailed ptarmigan, the willow's plumage changes chameleon-like from a dark reddish-brown mottling in summer to all white in winter. Only the outermost black tail feathers stay the same year-round. What amazes me is the ability of these birds to hide in the landscape, Terry commented as we parked ourselves on a pair of hummocks that first day for a field lunch of Chilean tortillas. It appears there's no place for them to hide, but they do. Surprising to us ruffed grouse hunters, the ptarmigan didn't even seem interested in the 4-foot-high Arctic willow, preferring to blend into the low sedge, cushion plants and caribou moss. We quickly learned that they often preferred to run, matching their speed to our speed as we did our step aerobics across the ankle-grabbing terrain. When I replied that their ability to run probably protected them as much as their cover, Tim Gossett, our guide, gave us a valuable piece of advice. "You guys might want to keep quieter when you're walking up on them," he pointed out. "They can hear you, and they'll start moving as soon as you talk." Mouths shut, we learned to listen for their clucking and pinch them from an angle whenever possible. Some flushed wild, some held well. The coveys ranged from 4 birds to 40. Small coveys, 2 to 5 birds, usually settled down just 200 yards away. The larger coveys reassembled a quarter-mile or more away. Their flight patterns were uniformly low. Accessed by floatplane, the tundra of the 2 regions we hunted, the upper Nushagak River and the Betcheroff Lake area, has horribly nasty walking conditions, followed by medium nasty walking, with a bit of mildly nasty walking in between. Arctic permafrost is suitable to shallow-rooted, low-growing plants, but those weren't the problem. It was the calf-cramping hummocks, however, that were created by frost heaves from an alternate universe. Our choices were to go toe-to-toe in 6-inch caribou trails or leapfrog on and over the hummocks. We were based at Crystal Creek Lodge, a handsome retreat set on shimmering Snake Lake, rimmed by pointed hills. Just west of the lodge lies the Togiak National Wildlife Refuge's 4.3 million acres. Wood Tikchik, the country's largest state park, Katmai and Lake Clark National Parks, also lay claim to the wilderness surrounding Crystal Creek. Owners Laurie and Dan Michaels were our pilots for the week and our guides, along with Laurie's son, Tim. Our noses for the week were Max and Buddy, German wirehair pointers. While 3-year-old Max got most the action, the day Dan brought Buddy, we witnessed an impressive transformation as the stiff 10-year-old veteran seemed to shed years with each covey he scented. Max and Buddy are as comfortable in the de Havilland Beaver float planes as our Chess is in the Suburban, and there's something to be said for taking to the air with a lap full of thick, hairy wire hair furniture. Both dogs took their scent at healthy distances, often 150 yards or more. They ran big, covering spaces so vast my grouse woods seem claustrophobic by comparison. Holding point was key to their success, as they gave us time to move in and, when necessary, push the birds into a flush. Each day's hunt had a different story to tell. Our taste of the Alaskan rainy season found us hunting one day, all day, in a driving rain. My rain pants were warm and dry back at the lodge. I slogged through the morning with each leg of my thoroughly soaked brush pants weighing in around 40 pounds. But the birds behaved the same as in clear weather, and the hunt kept us distracted from the rain. When we rallied back by the plain at midday, an accommodating covey of 8 ptarmigan glided in just up the beach. "Take 'em," Terry said. "Easy to say," I muttered, heading up the beach in my best stealth mode, sodden pants clutching my kneecaps with every step. I closed in and managed to get off one shot as they flushed. The bird sailed out over the tundra in a wide arc, seeming as healthy as the day before. To my surprise, it circled around, folded and dropped flat into the river. Back at the plane, I reported the lost bird. "Not a problem," Dan replied, reinforcing my appreciation of a wirehair's versatility. "Just walk him down the shoreline and send him out." Oblivious to the chilly water, Max launched himself into the chop, smoothly scooping up the dead bird 75 yards out, putting a smile on our faces no rain could wash away. Along with multi-talented wirehairs, Crystal Creek provides food, accommodations, equipment, advice and friendship I would hope every hunter has a chance to experience. They supplied waders for us to wear in and out of the plane. They supplied a backup Browning 20 gauge when Terry's side-by-side DHE Parker copped an attitude and decided to become a single shot for the day. Novice anglers, we tried fishing rainbow trout and silver salmon. Once we all agreed the world would be a safer place if I turned in my fly rod for spin casting, my first silver salmon found its destiny on a dinner plate. Although we didn't take advantage of it this trip, Crystal Creek's Sky Trekking service offers bear watching, kayaking, walrus viewing, visits to a native village, and more for those wanting to rest their tundra-weary legs for a day, or for spouses and friends not as passionate about the pursuit of birds and fish. For those preferring an a la carte hunt, separate outfitters and hotels are available in the region, notably in the town of King Salmon. Costs vary, but to access the areas in which we hunted, float planes are needed. Because of that, the savings over a full-service outfitter like Crystal Creek Lodge would not be as much as might be expected. Ptarmigan season runs from early August to the end of April, depending on the Alaskan Game Management Unit. Limits are 20 ptarmigan per day, 40 in possession. We were told improved cylinder was definitely the choke of choice, and I agreed, shooting improved on the bottom and modified on the top. Terry argued that a mod and a full choke were best, and thus ensued a noteworthy marital debate. At least we agreed that either 6 or 7.5 shot was fine. We took about a dozen birds each day, having no desire to fill the limit. Terry shot a nice pair of true doubles back-to-back on the third day. On our last day, we easily saw over 300 birds in just 2.5 hours, a tribute to the 10 years Dan has spent searching out productive covers. The weather tended towards 65-degree temperatures. Most days, the sky was so bright salmon glistened in the rivers. Bears, no. Bugs, yes, but only with the wind to our backs. There was the white wolf who'd taken up position in our cover one morning before we arrived. There was the covey of 40 birds that stunned us with an unexpected flyby just over our heads. And always the expansive landscape. You cannot spend time hunting on the tundra without moments of astonishment. Republished with permission from Of Ptarmigan and Ptundra by Nancy Anisfield, 2004. The Upland Almanac, Spring 2004. 2004 by Nancy Anisfield.